Welcome to a short reflection by Sebastian Mahfoud in Canto 3 of Dante's Purgatorio. As the poets react to Cato's exhortation, Dante notes that Virgil seemed gnawed by remorse for his offense loitering at the shore. And when the two settle back into a walk, Dante looks ahead and sees his unaccompanied shadow. He briefly panics before he realizes that Virgil is still present. Virgil explains that the form of the body is a mystery, and he immediately falls into a reverie over the state of the souls in limbo, who yearn desperately for salvation, but will never receive it, because the greatest triumph of human reason is insufficient without the grace which perfects nature. This is another theme, the inklings of which we've already seen, that Virgil will carry his hopelessness with him all the way up the mountain, and we won't know what to make of it on his behalf until we reach the Garden of Eden. We will be intimated that all souls in limbo will be given the garden, which is the highest form of natural happiness, following the resurrection. Virgil, who doesn't know this yet, will seem to us to be wistful and bitter, especially since all his new knowledge of Mary, of Christ, of the Trinity and more, will never win him salvation. The thing he lacks is baptism of the mortal body. As the poets reach the first ledge, they are met by the first class of the late repentant, the Contumacious, or the obstinately disobedient or rebellious. These are souls who suffered in life the pain of excommunication from the Church, and they are required to wait on this ledge for 30 times as long as their refusal to be obedient. A person who lived in a state of disobedience, then, for 30 years, would wait here for 900 before being allowed to begin the climb up the rest of the mountain. It's a kind of starting point on the way to the base camp that we'll reach in Canto 7, when we make it to the Flowering Valley, Purgatory's counterpart to Limbo. Some of those souls who landed with Casella will join this crew, but others who do not need this form of purification will press on until they reach the first point at which they do. Manfred, the grandson of the Blessed Empress Constance, the mother of Frederick II, is identified by Ciardi as the emperor's legitimized natural son, who ruled as king of Sicily. He was killed in 1266, the year after Dante was born, and was excommunicated upon his death for the opposition he held against the Papal States. So rebellious was he, in fact, that Pope Clement IV had Cardinal Pignatelli of Cosenza disinter his body and dump it without honors outside the kingdom of Naples, which, Ciardi notes, was then a papal state. If Manfred was contumacious for half his life, as Ciardi estimates, his total delay would amount to 525 years, unless shortened by prayer. The math on that would enable him to move on by the year 1791. Considering the other wait times that might lie ahead of him, we have no way of knowing but that he might still be in purgatory in the year 2010. The important thing to note is that he's a soul in grace. Whatever his crimes or mortal disposition, he will ascend to heaven, whereas had he died without repentance, we might have found him in the 7th circle of hell. In this canto we receive our first doctrine explaining that the prayers of those alive on earth can assist in the expiation of guilt for those who are dead. Manfred tells Dante that for here, from those beyond, great good may come, and this establishes a theme, whereas some of the souls in hell did not want to be remembered. All of the souls in purgatory are desperate for it, and they will see in Dante a chance for that memory to work for them in a very practical way. When we remember in prayer a soul who may be undergoing a state of purification, we will that person back into the community of the faithful. Our will matches Christ's will in the salvation of that soul, and the soul is assisted thereby. For this reason it is important to pray for the dead, for the prayers we send them will be prayers we may one day need. In this sense, salvation, which is individual, may be experienced as communal.